Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are live right here talking WWE Smackdown Live. Tonight's episode was on the 21st of May. And this was an interesting show, but only for one little reason. The only thing that really got my interest was the Dolph Ziggler stuff. Other than that, I thought the rest of SmackDown was take it or leave it. I honestly thought the rest of the show was just there. There was nothing else that really caught my attention. Nothing else that was like, ooh, man, you should go check this out later if you missed it. So, it's like, I liked the Dolph stuff, but I almost can't call this a good show. I almost just call this a mediocre, half-assed kind of show. Like, we'll get into some of the behind the scenes backstage stuff we've heard once we get, a little forward into it, but it's just I don't know. I really don't know. This was just a not that great show. It was just there with one interesting thing that may not have even interested a lot of people. Like, I was interested in it, but there could have been a number of fans that may not have been interested in the Dolph Ziggler stuff, to be honest. So let's just talk about what happened on tonight's show. So the show kicked off. Kayla Braxton. No, my bad. I'm a page ahead in my notes. So the show kicked off with Elias approached Shane McMahon in his office. Elias made an excuse for losing to Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank. He feels he let McMahon down and his entire family. Elias is looking forward to a Super Showdown and promised to be in McMahon's corner. McMahon turned down the offer and said he'd be in Elias's corner because he needed him. So we know that we're getting the rematch tonight for Elias versus Roman. Slid in the ring, WWE Champion Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods walked out on the ramp. They teased Big E's return. Woods brought out a big guy under a blanket and took it off, and it wasn't Big E. They made fun of him and told him to leave. Big E then made his actual return to a pretty good pop. There was a huge welcome back chant from the crowd. A Big E banner on the apron of the ring. Big E said he missed the New Day and the fans. Woods mentioned that Big E's recent tweeting. Big E said that he had to send a tweet or two to Becky Lynch's mom. He talked about how attractive Lynch's mother is. Kingston interrupted them and said, hey. They want us to be serious now. I'm the champion. Kingston noted that he beat Kofi Kingston on Sunday. And Woods goes, you KO'd KO. I like that line. You KO'd KO. Joe Decker says, who was the guy acting as Big E? I'm not sure. I didn't. At the very beginning of the show, I was kind of like watching, but not 100% in on it because I was getting the kids dinner and stuff. But going forward, Owens and Zayn interrupted. Zayn was furious that Big E had a big return celebration for only being gone for 6 months or 6 weeks, but when he was gone for months, nothing. No one even cared. They acted like, oh, you're back? The New Day then mocked him and gave him the same thing, said that they would give him the same thing Owens got on Sunday. Nothing. And then Owens just walked away. Zayn called the celebration disgusting. He said Owens lost because he was worried about him. Him as in Sammy. Kingston told Zayn not to let the pancake throwing and hip swiveling confuse him. He promised to defeat Zayn. Kofi said that he'll take on Sami Zayn later on in the night. So in the back, Carmelo was looking for R-Truth. Drake Maverick and Apollo Crews were also seen looking for him because he's the 24/7 champion. Maverick was putting up R-Truth wanted signs. If you hadn't seen this stuff on social media today, it was great. Go look at Drake Maverick's Twitter. She found Truth, but he was wearing a blonde wig and a Carmella t-shirt. He said that he needs Carmella's help to hold on to this championship. So then we got Ali versus Andrade. Andrade took over this control of the match early, rocking Ali with a huge clothesline for a near fall. Ali fought back and hit a reverse Hurricane Rana for a 2. Ali went to the second turnbuckle, but Vega jumped on the apron. She distracted Ali just long enough for Andrade to recover. Ali went for a crossbody, but Andrade caught him with a drop kick. After a commercial break, Ali caught Andrade with a tornado DDT. He followed it up with a suicide dive. He then immediately hit a second dive. Ali seemed to have injured his back in the process. Not really sure exactly what happened there. As he tried to re-enter the ring, Andrade shoved him off the apron and Ali crashed into the barricade. Andrade worked over Ali's back and slammed him into the ring post. He then tossed him over the barricade into the timekeeper's area. Ali barely beat the 10 count back into the ring. Andrade then hit the double running knees to the back of Ali's head for a close near fall. Andrade then slowly picked up Ali, and then suddenly Ali just rolled him up for the victory out of nowhere. So in the back, Carmella disguised R-Truth with a hat, blonde wig, glasses. She gave him a bra, but he said he needs help. He always had trouble unhooking them. They then showed a Lars Sullivan recap video. We then got a match between Mandy Rose and Carmella. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville come down. And then out comes Carmella. And I guess you can call him Armella. R-Truth dressed as Carmella. But he's still got the championship on. And I think it was Tom Phillips was like, oh, R-Truth is out here dressed up as Carmella to try and distract everybody from knowing that it's him and wanting to get him, attack him for the 24/7 championship. And Corey Graves goes, he's still wearing the belt. He's wearing the title. So, Carmella attacked Rose, but then she rolled it to the floor. Carmella put Deville into the ring because Sonya Deville tried to get involved. Rose then rolled her up for a near fall. Suddenly, the B-team and a bunch of other B-level wrestlers ran down to try and get at Truth. Truth ran into the ring. All the wrestlers followed. He grabbed Carmella, ran out of the ring. Referee called off the match. He jumps the barricade, puts Carmella on his back, piggyback ride style, and they run through the crowd and try to get away. And it's funny because the announcer's like, why did you put Carmella on his back? Carmella can run. It's like, it's faster if he just does it. He doesn't have to worry about her. Why does she need to come with him anyways? That's the question. So backstage, Truth and Carmella ran into the women's locker room. Whoa. I digress. Before this, in the back, Kayla Braxton interviewed the new SmackDown Live Women's Champion, Bayley. She said she's past... Well, first, Kayla said, what's the difference between this new Bayley and the hugger Bayley? She says she's past all the hugging and wants every woman in that locker room to know that she's going to bring her A game. Basically what she said. Backstage, R-Truth and Carmella ran into the women's locker room. Moments later, Truth and Carmella ran out. Truth apologized for running into the women's locker room. As they left, a group of wrestlers chased after Truth. Zayn watched as they ran after Truth and right past him, and he just looked disgusted. This is the second night in a row that the 24/7 champion has run past a top-level superstar, and that superstar was annoyed by the 24/7 champion and people chasing him, and it just makes the champion and the title look like a geek. When somebody like last night, Robert Roode, ran into Corbin and Lashley. And they looked at him like, who are you? What are you doing? Why are you running around backstage? Who are you running from? Like, they didn't even know what was going on. And then tonight, they run past Sammy, and Sammy looks like, what is this, follow the leader? So it's like 2 nights in a row, they already established that your top guys don't care about this 24/7 title. Because, in all honesty, Roode bumped right into Corbin. Corbin could have just grabbed him, slammed him, said, referee, pinned him. Corbin, new 24/7 champion. That at least would have gave some legitimacy to the title with having any superstar in the back actually, think that, hey, if I can win this belt, I'm a champion. No, it's like, Oh, yeah, I don't care about that title. So then we got Sami Zayn versus Kofi Kingston. Non-title match. In the back, Big E was on the ground in pain after being attacked by, quote-unquote, we think, Kevin Owens. Woods and Big E told Kingston to take care of Zayn. During the match, Tom Phillips announced that Woods accompanied Big E to a local medical facility. Kingston was furious as he made his way to the ring. Zayn had the early advantage and was firmly in control. Kingston fought back and hit a dropkick off the second rope. Back from a commercial break, Zayn hit a huge superplex for a near fall. Kingston missed the Trouble in Paradise. Zayn went for a Blue Thunder Bomb, but Kofi escaped and hit a Trouble in Paradise for the victory. So it beats Sami Zayn. Then after the match, Paul Heyman appears on the stage with a Money in the Bank briefcase. The commentators are wondering, oh my God, is Brock Lesnar here? Is Brock Lesnar going to cash in? Could this be the moment that Brock Lesnar cashes in on Kofi Kingston? And as Kofi has got his eyes focused on Heyman, from behind, not Brock Lesnar, but Dolph Ziggler actually returns to the Smackdown brand and attacks Kofi Kingston. Ziggler beat down Kingston. He wrapped a chair around his neck and threw him into the announce table. Ziggler wrapped Kingston's head in the chair and jumped on it, slamming it, smashing the throat and trachea of the WWE Champion. Kingston didn't move for several minutes as EMTs and medical staff, referees, they all came down to check on him. They eventually put him on a stretcher as the crowd was chanting for Kofi. Stretcher got about halfway up the ramp when Kofi was like, no, I'm going to walk out on my own. And he rolled right off. And he walked to the back by himself. So it was Roman first. So Roman Reigns arrives in the building, and we hear a guitar play. He looks up on top of a production truck, and Elias is up there playing his guitar. Elias said that he promised to defeat Roman Reigns later. Reigns shook his head like, what are you doing? And walked off. So we come back from commercial. And we get word from the announcers, from Tom Phillips, that Kofi Kingston is being evaluated into the trainer's room, and nobody at all is allowed in there. So they probably won't get a word on Kofi's condition. And I think this whole Dolph Ziggler thing should have ended the show. It should have been the last thing on the show, because it would have had people intrigued. It would have been like, oh man, we got to tune into next week. Maybe Raw. Maybe they'll say something on Raw, or at least, tune into next Tuesday's Smackdown to find out exactly what's going on with Kofi. Because they could have done he gets attacked. Ziggler then gets into the ring, makes the speech that he gives later, and then they take Kofi away on the stretcher, and the last thing we see is Kofi getting off the stretcher and walking to the back on his own. So it's like, is Kofi okay? Kofi did walk off on his own, but they could have gone on Twitter or whatever and said, hey, Kofi Kingston is being evaluated in the trainer's room. We won't have a word immediately exactly what's going on. I just feel like it was something that could have ended the show to build interest to next week. Because really what happened at the end of the show was so predictable. So Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch teamed up with the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, and they took on Charlotte Flair and Lacey Evans. Before the match, Kayla Braxton interviewed Becky Lynch. Lynch says that she's not happy that she lost her championship, but if anybody else is going to be holding that title, she's glad it's Bayley. Lynch promised to one day come after Bayley to get that belt back, and Bayley said, hey, I welcome the challenge because maybe I could be Bayley 2 belts. So early in the match, Bayley missed a knee in the corner, and Flair rocked her with a big boot to the back of the head. The heels then isolated Bayley on their side of the ring. Lynch got the hot tag and connected with a missile dropkick. She followed it up with a forearm from the second turnbuckle. Flair fought back and hit a big boot. She rolled up Lynch but only got 2. Lynch countered into the disarm her, but Evans broke it up. Bayley got a tag, and Flair went for the figure 4, but Bayley used an inside cradle to pin the former SmackDown Live Women's Champion. And the champs beat the twins, as Becky likes to call them, Charlotte Flair and Lacey Evans. So in the back, we see R-Truth and Carmella trying to run out. I guess they're trying to run out of the building, and they get attacked by Jinder Mahal. He rolled Truth up, but Truth actually kicked out. Truth fought him off, ran off. The B team then jumped Truth, and they argued over who was going to pin him. Truth then did finally fight them off. Truth and Carmella ran away. The B team chased after them. So Dolph Ziggler's walking in the back, and Sarah Shriver, the interview girl, was like, Dolph, what was all that about? The WWE Universe wants to know. Such bad lines. He just walks past her. Like, I ain't going to talk to you. So Dolph comes out on the stage, and the crowd is just booing him like he's the biggest heel in the world. And he acknowledges it going, if I were you, I'd boo myself too. He's like, everything that Kofi Kingston, because everything that he has gotten since Ali was hurt, shouldn't have been his. He said when Kofi Kingston had that great moment, that great, just match in the gauntlet match, that great run, it should have been him. When Kofi Kingston got the chance to be in the Elimination Chamber and had a great showing, it should have been him. He said when Kofi Kingston got to walk into WrestleMania for a WWE Championship match, it should have been him. He said when the crowd got fully behind Kofi Kingston and chanted and cheered for him, they should have been chanting and cheering for him. He said after 11 years, Kingston became an overnight success, and that should have been him. Ziggler said he was at home watching all of this. He was home seeing Kofi Kingston become the WWE champion. He stated that the fan respect that they give Kofi, it should be his. And he started getting emotional while saying this, and I loved this promo. Ziggler then said, I'm getting my shot. I'm getting my opportunity. Because at Super Showdown, I promise to defeat Kofi Kingston and become the new WWE champion. So a little backstage on why this match is happening. I don't know exactly why it's Dolph, but we did hear from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com that the reason it's not going to be Kevin Owens again, which was something they wanted to do, is because Kevin Owens has actually told the company he's not going to Saudi Arabia. We saw last year, John Cena and Daniel Bryan both told the WWE that they will not go to Saudi Arabia. They didn't go when the show took place in November, and I assume Bryan's going to have the same stance this time. And Kevin Owens has the same stance. Apparently, reportedly, he does not want to go to Saudi Arabia, and he informed the company of that. So they had to find a new challenger for Kofi Kingston. And I think this stems from WWE basically not allowing his best friend Sami Zayn to go because Sami Zayn's of Aryan descent, and they don't want any backlash from the Saudi Arabian government of, you brought an Aryan guy? And so I don't know if that's the exact reason why Owens doesn't want to go, but it is being reported that Kevin Owens is not going to be challenging Kofi Kingston at Super Showdown like they wanted because he doesn't want to go to the show. And WWE, Vince McMahon, they all made a preference. They said last year, if anybody does not want to go, speak up. Now, lower level guys probably won't speak up, but guys in positions like Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens have the right to speak up, have the mindset of, I'm a bigger star. I can say I don't want to go, and they'll probably not let me, want me to go. So we'll see. And then got the main event, Roman Reigns versus Elias. McMahon introduced Elias as the greatest acquisition in SmackDown Live history. Reigns was firmly in control of his match early and rocked Elias with a right hand. McMahon distracted Reigns, and Elias took over. He sent Reigns into the post. Back from a commercial break, Reigns connected with a flying clothesline. He followed it up with a big boot. He set up for a Superman punch, but McMahon grabbed the leg. Elias then hit a flying knee in the corner. Roman, though, fought back with a big right hand. Elias then regained control and hit a powerbomb for a near fall. They traded shots in the middle of the ring back and forth for a little while before Reigns hit a Superman punch. McMahon put Elias' leg on the bottom rope, so rope break. Reigns then hit the drive-by on Shane. Elias then took the advantage and hit a big elbow for a very close near fall. Elias pulled off the top turnbuckle pad, which distracted the referee. McMahon then put the guitar in the ring. Elias went to use it, but Reigns hit a spear on Elias instead, getting the victory off that spear. 1, 2, 3. Again, just like Money in the Bank, Roman beats Elias. McMahon then attacked Reigns from behind. He teased hitting Reigns with the guitar, but Reigns hit a Superman punch instead. Reigns then picked up the guitar, and Reigns picked up the guitar and Shane backed up into the corner. As that sequence happened, Drew McIntyre then appeared, hit Reigns with the Claymore kick, and the last thing we see as the show goes off the air is Shane McMahon and Elias standing over a downed Roman Reigns. So with that was SmackDown. No Lie wasn't the greatest of shows tonight. It was very hit or miss. I loved the Dolph stuff. Dolph's promo, when he said why he did what he did, I loved it. Sort of. I loved his delivery, but it's like, so I just did what I did because I'm jealous of him because he got an opportunity? Bro, you've had opportunities and you squandered them. He challenged Dean Ambrose for the WWE Championship at the 2016 SummerSlam event and didn't win. He's had opportunities. This was Kofi's first one-on-one opportunity. They gave it to him. But I think regardless of the way and the reason they set this match up, his delivery was great. So let's take a call and see what you guys think of tonight's SmackDown. Caller on the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim, what's going on?
Not much.
Well, so I have a comment and a question. With the whole Dolph Ziggler thing, do you think that in Dolph Ziggler's promo, now I know I've touched base with you before how I feel people should deserve it, deserve the win, an opportunity for the WWE Championship. Do you think that Dolph should have instead of saying at Super Showdown, she should have I challenge Kofi Kingston instead of it's already set. Do you think that would have been a better line, or does it matter?
I get what you're saying, but for all we know, after he attacked Kofi, he went to the back, talked to Shane, and got the match set up.
Oh, yeah.
That's one way to look at it. I get what you're saying, where there was kind of this is kind of just all set up already. But, the only thing we can think of to make sense of it is he did what he did, caught up with Shane. Shane was impressed, and Shane gave him the match. That's the only thing I can think of, to make it make sense.
Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking about it a little too deeply. I don't know.
We all do that. We all do it.
But hey, I want to touch up on the 24/7 title. It makes me laugh. It can be a good thing, and right now it's not. But to be honest with you, just to see all these jobbers just come down running, and Drake Maverick being the last one, something about it just entertains me. And it's not a legit title. They have too many titles in the WWE. I think I've always thought that, and it doesn't mean anything. But it simply makes me laugh just to see all the top guys what the hell are you fighting for? What are you running for? And just see Drake Maverick out of breath trying to catch him. It's funny to me.
I like the Drake Maverick stuff. He's had some over the last 24 hours, some very interesting videos and social media posts trying to quote unquote find the champion before SmackDown. I really like that stuff, and it can lead to some good content because WWE did put on their website this title can change either at TV, at a live event, or just randomly any other day of the week and then broadcast on or shown on social media. They're like, hey, you can challenge anytime and then just put up that you won, video of it on Twitter. And I like that it can. That's the one thing that I do like about this, the unpredictability that, like I said last night, on any random Thursday, all of a sudden we can see footage of, oh, hey, there's a new 24/7 champion and this is how it happened. I like that aspect of it. But when you have your bigger guys like Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Sami Zayn, looking at these guys the way they are as far as the people that want to win this title as geeks, it's you're not going to establish that title as meaning anything when your guys that we know are your top guys don't even care about it. If even it doesn't even need to be your top guys. If somebody I don't even know. Braun Strowman, I think what would give us a lot of legitimacy is if Lars Sullivan had the title.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that was the first thing I thought of last night when Titus won the title and he was just standing on the ramp. I'm like, someone's going to attack him, and it needs to be Lars, but it was Robert Roode.
For sure. I think what you said there, you brought up a good point at like a live event. I think that'd be very cool to change hands at a live event because very rarely. I mean, I know we saw back in 2017 with at the Madison Square Garden when Styles beat Owens,
Right?
the United States Championship, but that was very rare, right?
Exactly.
Like I think house shows. They're very fun to go to, most of them are, and to have that unpredictability that hey, that title has a very, very, very good chance of changing hands, intrigues people more and makes people notice that house shows exist, and but also one more question, and I'll let you go.
Go for it.
This is kind of a kayfabe question, but if the guy has the title, and he's well, okay, so let's say Archer does not have a title.
Right.
Whether he's walking down, can they still challenge?
It's a good question.
Wait, he does not have. Okay, he's walking into the movie theater, right, with his kids, and he's got the title, and here comes the rest to pin him one.
It's a good question. I mean, I would assume maybe it still counts, or let's keep kayfabe. Let's keep talking kayfabe, and because you're the champion, you must have the title on you at all times, no matter where you are in the world.
True.
I mean, you can go that route, so we could see, like you said, him walking into the movie theaters with his kids, but he's got to have the belt with him. You have to keep that belt with you. My beef with it, I think it could be something cool if done right, but when you've got guys that just brushing it off like, what are these geeks fighting for, running around for, it just makes it seem like there's no legitimacy to it already.
For sure. But it should be interesting to see where they go with it, what they do with it, and what some other certain things happen next couple weeks. But all right, Tim, I'm gonna let you get to some other callers. But
all right.
It's great catching up with you.
Thanks for the call and have a great night. But as far as this 24/7 title goes, it could be really good if done right as far as giving WWE extra content. Extra YouTube content, extra social media, Twitter content, Instagram content. I think if done right, and it's not like I said, on a random Thursday we can say, hey, the champion had been challenged. They don't have to film it on Thursday. They could film a bunch of stuff on a Tuesday at Smackdown or Monday at Raw, and then release it throughout the week. And there you go. You don't have to have guys working extra. You film it all on Monday or Tuesday at different locations that are in that city. And bada boom, there you go. Let's take another call. Let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tim, how you doing? This is...
Hello? You cut out. You cut
Tim,
out.
how you doing? This is JD.
How's it going?
Good, man. Hey, I wanted to say I got a chance to talk with both of you and Nick last Wednesday, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that Nick made a little comment about saying that was a nice young gentleman, and I thought that was kind of cute and funny, considering I'm pretty much twice his age, and I've probably watched WWE longer than he's been alive.
Good chance.
But I thought that was great, man. You guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Hey, I wanted to kind of throw a little something at you. Hey, they brought Brock Lesnar back on Money in the Bank, and we got Mr. Dolph Ziggler tonight. I think maybe Mr. Vince McMahon is pulling out a couple more bullets to kind of help the ratings.
Right.
What do you kind of think on that?
The thing though, when you think about it, it makes sense thinking, okay, he's bringing back these guys to help the rating and all that. But it would be to help the rating down the line. Just because Dolph Ziggler showed up tonight doesn't mean it's going to help a rating because it wasn't something that was previously announced. Nobody knew Dolph was going to be there. And a lot of times when something happens on a WWE show, it's not like back in the late 90s when you would watch something early in the show and then be like, oh man, this just happened and more may happen because of it. We've learned now in WWE when something happens, it just happens and that's it. There's not much more on the same show. You have to wait till next week for follow-up. So maybe this will help the ratings next week. I think maybe Brock winning Money in the Bank did help the ratings last night because there was the thought of, ooh, Brock won Money in the Bank. he can show up on Raw this week. Good chance. What does he do with the briefcase? So I do think Brock winning Money in the Bank did help the SmackDown rating, especially going against that big NBA playoff game.
Right. Hey, and I will say this, that ratings did go up for Brock just pretty much across the board. I think, yeah, you're right. Definitely, this is a future move on both part, bringing both these big characters back. Obviously, this is definitely something that's going to be built longer down the road. Because with Dolph Ziggler and how much frustration he's had with the company over the last 6 months to maybe 2 years.
Right.
He's not going to come back after getting this time off and just be like, you're going to get thrown into a generic, stupid another promo. I think I'm hoping Ziggler's coming back a little more on his terms, and it's going to be like, you were gone, we missed you, and now you're back. We can enjoy you being back, because how can we miss something when they're there every single week?
Exactly. And
you got Roman Reigns literally, and now we got all these, the wild card mix up. Now you got, 2 or 3 guys that are on Monday and Tuesday. We're going to get tired of seeing that, and I bet they're going to get tired of the travel.
Now, the thing about Dolph, though, is Dolph has been hit and miss over his career. Sometimes, like, the fans know that WWE is going to use Dolph as a top guy sometimes, but they'll never go all the way with him. So that's when I'm like, will he really help the ratings? And here's the thing with Dolph, though. Dolph is going to be very, very motivated in this match come Super Showdown, because when Dolph Ziggler was, I don't know if this is when he was offered his last contract or just something that they offered him around Royal Rumble time, they wanted to make him a producer backstage, thinking, his time in the ring may be up. So Dolph did not want that. He said no.
He turned that down and went to do comedy and do his own thing.
So, they gave him some time off, and I think he's going to want to prove himself to the company during this match with Kofi and say, hey, you think my time in the ring's done? Look what I can do here in this match with Kofi Kingston, and he's going to show them why he's not done in the ring.
Oh, man, Dolph Ziggler is going to kick butt, man. He's an awesome wrestler. He's one of the ones that have just been underutilized over so many years.
Right.
And, I wonder how much they paid him to, come on back to Saudi, because I'm hearing a couple other wrestlers are not wanting to go to that show. And it's funny how WWE, it keeps promoting the show, but they never mention where it's at.
Now, they've been calling it since Sunday, the international pay-per-view. Michael Cole did let it slip once last night. He said WWE Super Showdown in Jeddah, and then he paused. Like, uh-oh.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I
said it
missed that
really quick last night on Raw, but then he paused, caught himself, and he goes, the international pay-per-view 2 weeks from Friday.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, I see why, they don't want to put that name, where it's being held at, because
exactly. I mean, the last time they were there in November, they just kept saying, this is WWE Crown Jewel. Never mentioned where they were. They're throughout the entire show.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Right.
And it's, I think it's really silly that they're saying that the show is bigger than WrestleMania.
Monetary-wise, they make more money off of it.
Well, yeah, because it's in one country that has 2 billion people in one little area.
I mean, it's not even that. They're making at least $50 million a year, if not more, to go to do this show. So it's almost like a profit overall for them, because it's not like they have to worry about tickets being sold. It's a sold show where they're getting paid regardless. It's not they're getting paid off of how many tickets they sell, like with WrestleMania or other events.
Man, that's crazy. And the first 3 rows are pretty much luxury couches.
Yep, crazy.
I mean, I'd love to be there, but I would not. I would not support where it's at.
Exactly.
But hey, man, I'm glad that the Revival got to show off some of their skills. I'm getting tired of seeing this back shaving shit. And, I understand why, they want to make them look like boobs and shit like that. And then me and you have kind of gone back and forth a little bit about that. I do want to kind of throw something out at you.
Okay.
With WWE making them look like boobs, and they're being on every single week, and it's being over and over and over, you did kind of mention that nobody's going to want to watch them to where they go.
Right.
Well, if they keep promoting them like this, and unfortunately it's in the boob wise, and you got AEW and everything that they've done was hashtag FTR and all these things that they've done. Revival.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say this, but the casual fan is going to follow these guys over to AEW because they've been seeing them every single week, and all these incidents and these stupid fucking things that they keep showing. I'm sorry, swearing.
No worries.
But they're getting the promotion, they're getting the spotlight, and the casual fan is going to follow them because they're going to see what the commentators keep saying about the Revival, one of the greatest tag teams in the world, one of the greatest tag teams. They keep saying that over and over and over, but they keep making. So I think with what they're doing is not only helping the Revival, it's helping whatever company that the Revival go to after they do not sign their contracts, which everybody pretty much knows they go
right
to AEW. So, we've gone back and forth. I threw that at you. I want to hear what you got to say.
All right, I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night.
Hey, man, Tim, thank you very much. JD out, baby.
So with the whole Revival thing, I get what he's saying. People are going to see them on TV every week, regardless on what the skits are that they're made to do, and still be like, we do see glimpses of greatness in the ring from these guys as much as WWE is going to allow them to show. So maybe when they do leave, we can follow them to wherever they go, whether that's, AEW or somewhere else, and see them maybe prosper there. But this is all Vince McMahon's thinking. It's not what the fans perceive it as. It's what Vince perceives it as. Vince perceives it as, if we make these guys look like jokes on our TV, then people are going to think they're going to be jokes anywhere. It's not the fact of, if we make these guys look like jokes on our TV, but give them glimpses of okayness, the fans will think that they're better than they're being shown as. And that's the thing, is the fans do know how good the Revival could be because of their matches from NXT. So making them look like geeks now, I don't think is going to hurt them that bad because of what we have seen already from them in their early time on the main roster and back in NXT. So I think it's not going to hurt them as much as it would have hurt somebody else. I know their mentality was you beat a bunch of people, you beat them a bunch of times when they're not going to re-sign them. That's what happened with Dolph or Dean. Dean lost a bunch, but Dean was never made to look bad or look like a geek. So that's the opposite of it as well. But let's take another call here before we go forward. And then we'll read some of the text messages we got as well. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I just had a few questions here now. I'm pretty sure people asked you this already. The 24/7 title. What's your opinion on that?
So as I stated tonight and last night, I think it can be something good if done properly, but they've already made it seem like a nothing title with your bigger stars not caring about it, and making your bigger stars make the guys that do care about it look like geeks.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because you have former WWE champions, NXT champions, like Robert Roode and Jinder Mahal, they were champions at one time. Now you're just making them look like jobbers. That's what it seems like to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now about non-WWE Double or Nothing. What's the match that you're really excited to see?
That's a tough one. The match I'm most excited for at Double or Nothing.
I think mine is Omega and Jericho.
I think mine might actually be, I want to see how Cody and Dustin goes.
Mm.
I think that may be one I'm looking forward to the most.
I'm curious to see if the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros, I'm curious to see if they'll put them on as the main event. because they've been talking about like tag teams being
Right.
the main event.
I think Tony Khan, I could be wrong here, but I think Tony Khan has stated that Omega Jericho is the main event. I could be wrong there, but that he has talked about it as being the main event, but he may have said one of the main events.
Yeah, because if you look at the poster, like their pictures are like the biggest
Right.
ones on the poster.
Right.
So yeah, that probably will be the main event. Any word on like what's about Sasha? Like, is she coming
Nothing.
back anytime soon?
Haven't heard anything. All we know is she's staying at home. She's got black hair now, no longer purple hair, and there's just been no budge by either side.
What's your take on that? Because I feel like she's I understand with the whole tag titles taking it away and breaking her and Bailey up. That was a huge deal breaker. But at the same time, you have to kind of think about it. It's like can't always be in the spotlight. You see what I'm saying?
Honestly, in my opinion, I think she's in the wrong. Last May, she signed a new contract with the WWE. She's locked in for at least 2 or more years. She knows she's locked in. Yes, she may have asked for her release. We don't know exactly if she did, but she made it known that she wanted out. When they told her, you ain't getting out of this contract, she should have just been like the Revival when they got a no and just kept on working. And for her to go home, for her to go sit home and not want to show up to work, it worked out for Neville. He sat home for 10 months and then got his release. But I don't know if it'll work for her.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sit home for 2 or 3 years? Like, no, I don't.
And here's the other thing. She sits home for a year. She sits home for 2 years. WWE can add that time right back to the end of her contract. They can say, hey, you didn't work for us for 10 months, 12 months, 14 months. Now you got to, because they're paying her this whole time. She legally has to be paid by them with her downside guarantee, whatever her minimum pay is. So while she's sitting home, she's getting paid. So they're going to think, okay, well, we're going to add this time on to the end of your contract. You're going to work it back. Yes, they're going to end up paying her more in the long run, but it's going to prove a precedent that you want to just sit at home? No, we're going to make you work out the length that you've agreed to in your contract. And that's why the Revival said, okay, you don't want to give us the release. We're going to stick around, but, when our contracts expire, they're probably going to leave.
Right. I have one quick last question.
Go for it.
Are you going to do a review after Double or Nothing?
That's going to be tough. I will be at Double or Nothing in Las Vegas. Me and Nick will both be there. So we probably won't be able to do a live review right after. We don't know exactly when we're going to get back to our hotel room that night, but we'll try to record some sort of a review. Probably won't be live, like I said, especially since we'll probably have a bad hotel internet. But we will try to put up some sort of a review either very late Saturday night or early on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're actually going to be in Vegas for both StarCast and Double or Nothing. We're actually leaving to go out there. We'll get there Thursday night, and we're not coming back till late Sunday.
Oh wow, okay. Well, whenever it is. If it's if it's Sunday morning, afternoon, I'll just be looking out for it.
Yeah. So thank you.
Have a good day.
All right. Thanks for the call. Have a great night. With that, look at some of these text messages here. This person says, with Drake going for the 24/7, what's going to happen with the AOP? Well, he's got to do something while the AOP's out. Yeah, he's general manager of 205 Live, but they got to do something else with him as well while the AOP are on the shelf. So maybe the 24/7 title dies down by the time they come back. We'll see. There's really not much to really go off of with that. This person says, if the 24/7 title gets used properly, just imagine how the 50-man Battle Royal would be like. It would be interesting to see them doing this Battle Royal, but then intermittently people are trying to pin the 24/7 champion while other guys are being thrown out. They could be funny. This person says, what do you think of Shawn Spears joining AEW? We don't know. I need to look something up before I say this. Give me 1 second about this. So we don't know if he's officially signed to AEW or if he's just working Double or Nothing in the pre-show. Well, I'm going to assume maybe he signs with the company, but that's not anything we can actually say as of right now confirmed. All we know is that Sean Spears, the former Ty Dillinger, is is working the show. This person says, do you think if Sasha and Bayley hadn't lost the Raw tag titles, WWE tag titles, Bayley would have been pushed to the SmackDown title? There's no way to hypothetically go off of that question, because it's like, well, of course, if they're still the champions, Bayley wouldn't be the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. So that's kind of like an irrelevant question, not to be rude, but you can't think of, would Bayley also be the SmackDown Live Women's Champion if she was still a tag team champion? You really can't say that. Just looking at some of the other messages here. Yeah, nothing else really. So with that, we're going to wrap things up here for tonight's SmackDown Live review. Tomorrow night I will be back for the PW Unlimited Wednesday show. Going to have Nick with me as well. We're going to talk everything that's happened this week in pro wrestling. We'll give our thoughts on the upcoming Double or Nothing show this Saturday. Now, Double or Nothing is going to be a very interesting show to try and predict, because we have no clue, nothing to go off of as far as directions for the company and where we think they can go. So we're going to give our best educated guesses as far as predictions goes, but I'm going to say right now, my predictions may be wrong, because I don't know what direction they're going with different wrestlers or different divisions of the company. So with that, I want to say thank you for joining me tonight. If you want to watch this show after, if maybe you jumped in late, you can watch it right here on YouTube, catch the replay, or listen to it on audio on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and more. Follow us right here on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/PW Pro Wrestling ULTD, and follow us on Twitter @PW Unlimited. CJ, I read like 3 or 4 of the tweets, bud. Have a good night.